India's IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav earlier this week announced a $200 billion push into AI-led data centers in India. It was a geopolitical signal. In today's episode from the India AI Impact Summit, Microsoft's Vice Chair Brad Smith talks to ET's tech editor Surabhi Agarwal about how his company is positioned as both investor and interlocutor, committing over $17 billion to India while warning that digital sovereignty must not chill capital flows. AI infrastructure now sits at the intersection of trade diplomacy, cloud dominance, and national security. Governments want sovereign control, companies want scale, markets want growth. Smith's solution? Keep markets open, protect privacy through international agreements, and guarantee continuity of service. Anything less risks fragmenting the digital economy. These and more insights coming up. Listen on. It's Thursday, the 19th of Feb. I'm Anirban Chaudhary. This is The Morning Brief.
Thank you, Brad, for talking to the Economic Times. It's a real pleasure to talk to you. Let me start by asking you, Ashwini Vaishnav, India's IT minister, said yesterday that $200 billion worth of investment is going to go into AI-led data centers. India is really putting out a large infrastructure play when it comes to AI. Where do you see Microsoft fit into that strategy?
Well, I would say two things. First, we are very optimistic and bullish about the future here in India. That's why Satya Nadella in December announced our $17 billion plus investment.
Right.
I think everyone who looks at India sees this as a land of digital opportunity. Right. At the same time, I think we always need to keep in mind that money will continue to flow as usage grows.
Yeah.
And I think that means equipping people with skills, which we're doing, working with customers so they can harness the power of AI in the cloud.
Right.
It also means being open to investment. So I think it means thinking through digital sovereignty issues, which are essential for the country, but ensuring that that doesn't chill or discourage this kind of investment.
I was going through the blog that you've written this morning, and you very nicely put that how there is sort of a digital divide, and it is only getting larger with AI, where I think the global north as well as the global south, not just a disparity in terms of technology creation, but adoption, which is sort of becoming very stark now, if I could put it like that. With that reality in mind, what does it mean for a company like Microsoft? Is it an opportunity or a threat?
Well, I think it is both for everyone and not just one company alone. If you look at the world today, the greatest divide in the world is the economic divide between the global north and south. In my view, it is a divide that started because of a technology divide. Electricity moved across the global north, in many places a century before it moved across the global south. We cannot repeat that experience with AI. Right now, we are seeing uneven adoption. Now, the opportunity here is also worth reflecting on. If we can bring AI to the global south, it creates what could well be the best opportunity this century for catch-up growth by the global south. So the key is to bring it here. Now, what does that mean? It means infrastructure, not just data centers, but connectivity and electricity. It means skilling, which is what we're investing in and announcing this week here in India, not just students, but teachers and with nonprofits. It means ensuring that AI works in every language equally well and not just best in English. It means using AI to create applications that solve people's needs in the global south. Another thing that we're doing this week, including by focusing on food insecurity in a place like Africa. It takes a multifaceted approach. It takes a long-term investment. It really takes a lot of work by all of us, public sector, private sector, nonprofits, to find new ways to work together.
Right. Talking about digital sovereignty now, I think governments the world over, be it US or Europe, UAE, everybody wants to have digital sovereign cloud infrastructure. What does that mean for a company like Microsoft? Is it in some way a hindrance to your global ambitions?
Well, I think we should all reflect on what countries mean when they talk about digital sovereignty. I do think it starts at a national level with ensuring that technology is properly under a country's control. We're doing that in multiple ways. One is through our own offerings to create more what we call sovereign controls. One is more partnerships, including with, say, geo platforms here in India. But I also think we should reflect on the fact that this is an even bigger issue in 2026 than it was, say, a year or two ago, because people have the concerns about continuity. They're afraid that if they rely on technology from a foreign company, they might put themselves in a position where a foreign government could shut off access to that technology. This is a diplomatic problem, and in part, it requires a diplomatic solution. Not just business solutions, not just engineering solutions, but diplomatic solutions. What I hope is that the Indian government and the US government will show the world there is a way to solve this. And as they finalize trade agreements together, that they will agree that each country will make its market open for digital services from the other country. And in exchange, they each agree that they will never shut off access to supply. I think India and the United States can show the world that they can build trust together. This will support the Indian economy, especially the Indian developer community, which is so important for the United States and the world. It will also help American technology companies. It will give an incentive to American technology companies to keep investing in infrastructure in India.
Right, right. India has just signed a large, very big, and it's a milestone FTA with US as well as the EU. If you were to draw a framework for digital sovereignty in today's AI age, what would it be? And what would you tell a country like India?
I would say focus on three things. Keeping your market open because you need the investment. We all need the investment. The amount of investment that is needed for AI infrastructure is so high. Even the US is looking for foreign direct investment. Number two, protect privacy. Protect privacy by having an international agreement in place that regulates when governments in one country may seek data in another for, say, law enforcement purposes and the like. And third, ensure continuity of services. In exchange for keeping the market open, guarantee that the supply will always be available.
Talk to you a little bit about regulation. Again, governments the world over are trying to regulate AI in various ways, right? Do you feel that there is a global framework required? Because AI technology is progressing very fast, but along with that, the harms, the issue of deep fakes, misinformation, that is also very, very rising rapidly.
Well, the first thing I would say is I'm very encouraged by not just the AI issues and the government's policy here in India, but the broader digital agenda. When you look at what the Indian government put together on, say, privacy, it was a very thoughtful conversation. When I was here in 2022 and 2023, it was part of the conversations that we were all having together. And I think what India has done has ensured strong privacy protection, but with a light touch, so as not to impede innovation. And I think that basic recipe should also be something that is pursued for AI more broadly. And I think we're going to see this government and others pursue that. I do think ultimately the world will benefit from international collaboration, starting with dialogue and access to a common set of information. But over time, finding its way towards agreements that protect AI in a similar way, that protect people in a similar way. Because I think when that is in place, it makes it easier for the technology to move around the world. That is what helps advance economic development. Let's harness the power of AI to put a country like India and other countries around the world at the frontier of innovation and economic growth.
Right, right. I want to talk a little bit more about the AI harms, right? Given the fact that, there is so much of concentration happening among a few companies right now, and especially in the US, do you feel that these companies have a greater responsibility to also make sure that, we are, while working on the progression of the technology, also taking care enough that the harms are taken care of?
Well, I think the responsibility is enormous.
Right.
And we never do ourselves a disfavor by spending more time to think about it. I feel fortunate to be at a company like Microsoft because I think for the last quarter of a century, we've been very focused on the responsibilities that come with technology leadership. In the context of AI, I think there are a couple of questions and topics that we all serve ourselves well by thinking about more. One is, how do we ensure that the benefits of AI can spread while protecting children? I think the social media experiment showed the world that it's not good to let the technology go for a decade before really learning and thinking about and even trying to regulate some of those issues. And I think that's what you're seeing more across the industry. You're seeing it at Microsoft, and I think we need to do more. Second, there's this obviously hugely important question. How will AI change the world of work? What will the impact be on jobs? What will the impact be on job opportunities?
Right.
I think the most important thing we can do is start by recognizing we're still early. We're basically at the 3-year and 3-month point since ChatGPT was released. It's a time for all of us to be curious rather than judgmental, and to recognize that humans are in control.
Yeah.
We will decide, governments will decide, companies and employers will decide how to put AI to use. And I think as a company at Microsoft, we're very focused on trying to think and understand these issues, but then take action to skill people more broadly, to work with leaders, managers in companies and other employers. So they're using AI to boost productivity, but also boost job satisfaction.
Right.
If we pursue those two goals together and equip people with skills, then I'm an AI optimist.
Right.
But mostly I would say I'm also an AI realist. And by that I mean we all need to focus, learn, think, and act together to make the most of what this technology offers.
I just want to end with this last question, Brad. We're talking about so much of AI being produced in certain countries, right? What does it mean for a country like India? What should be India's playbook when it comes to how can India catch up?
Well, first, I think India is in a leadership role, and that's always worth reflecting on, because when you think about AI, you can think about it at the infrastructure layer, you can think about it at the platforms layer, and you can think about it at the applications layer. And there are opportunities here in India for all three.
Right.
But ultimately, India has made itself the world's software development capital, so to speak, the central laboratory to help create software for the world. And even on days when people are all talking about the AI models, which are critical, over time, it's all the applications that use AI, that are based on AI, that may well have the most profound impact on improving healthcare, say, or reducing the cost of energy consumption, advancing literacy. You name the problem, it's at the applications layer where you will find solutions. And the developer population in India, I think, should look at this as an opportunity to grow. It will require new skills. It will require working in some different ways, but the world is going to need more digital technology, not less. And India is in one of the world's best positions to meet that need.
Sure. Thank you so much for this conversation, Brad. Really appreciate your time. Thank you. Thanks again.
So AI is now about markets, treaties, and trust. If India can anchor openness with credible sovereignty, it may become not just an AI consumer, but a rule setter. From Brad's insights, it's clear that the next frontier is about confidence and collaboration between nations, companies, and citizens. That's it for today. You were listening to this episode on The Morning Brief. This is the latest in our series from the India AI Impact Summit. This episode was produced by me, sound designed by Rajas Naik. A new episode of The Morning Brief drops every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, wherever you get your podcasts. But in times when the news cycle is running too fast, we come to you more often. Keep listening.